Let's start the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Triangle Defense Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Ortega.
And I'm your co-host, Jonathan King.
And we are back from a week or so long absence. It was the holiday week. John had some school stuff to take care of. I had some work stuff to take care of. And I went back home for the holidays. So we decided it was just better to just take the week off. But we are back and we have a packed episode. We have so much to talk about that's happened over the past week since we have been gone. So in order to start out the show today, we're going to get right into the part of the show where I bring 3 topics and John brings 3 topics. This is the 3-pointers. So what do you have for me to start the show off, John?
Yeah, so recently, we've been talking about this the whole season pretty much, that the NBA was going to do something to the Bulls and the Heat, and they did something. They announced today that the Bulls and the Heat will forfeit their next available second-round pick for tampering violations regarding Lonzo Ball and Kyle Lowry. Pretty significant news. I didn't think that they were going to get penalized any picks. I thought it was going to be a fine. But I also don't really care because the Bulls have their next second-round pick in 2026. And the Heat have their next second-round pick in 2028, and it's a swap.
Right.
So,
and then it is a second-round pick to where those are very – sometimes second-round picks don't even play in the NBA.
And sometimes they get sold.
Right.
No one, cares. Like, you could say, risking it, but if you're even if a mediocre team, like, second round pick, you might as well just sign it. You have a better chance, or as good of a chance, signing a guy unrestricted free agent after the draft than you do signing a second round pick. So it's like, they really got us.
Because really. let me think. We got Io in the second round, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm trying to think of who else we've gotten. The Bulls have gotten in the second round.
You can look at any year and be like, oh, what about this guy? He was a second rounder. But there's going to be like 1 or 2 or 3 of those guys a year. And there's so many random just shitheads who are don't play ever. And then like Paul Zipser or Marko Simonovic or whatever the fuck his name is. Or
I'm trying to think, was Daniel Gafford was a second round pick, right?
He was, yeah.
Okay, so was. It's every few years you might get like a decent guy, but for the most part, like that second round pick's not really going to do anything. And with the pick being in 2026, I don't think it's really not that big of a deal.
It's going to be 2026. We're going to forget all about this, and then it's going to be like, why don't we ever pick? Who has it? Oh, it's the NBA. They have it.
Yeah.
Like, we're not even going to remember this or care.
And then the majority of the time, like, second-round picks are usually, like, 3 or 4 year college players.
Yeah.
To where, like, I don't know. I really don't. That kid's probably, like 7th grade right now.
Yeah, yeah. Were you surprised that either team got punished at all? Because I think I was.
No, so I kind of, and I said this in the last episode.
Yeah, you did.
This. I thought that the NBA was going to be like, okay, we're going to make an example out of you guys, with these being 2 bigger market teams.
Right.
And, just wanting to show the rest of the NBA that they're not going to tolerate tampering, but there's no way to stop it. It happens all the time.
It's going to happen. I was
worried,
with 1 in the morning or 12:01 next summer. It's going to fucking happen.
Exactly.
They're not going to do anything about it either.
Right. So to where, like I said, I was just worried because I thought that they were looking to make an example out of the Bulls and the Heat. And it ended up not being that bad because, I mentioned how in the early 2000s, the Minnesota Timberwolves had to forfeit 4 first-round picks. Yeah. That would be a nightmare scenario.
Nuked their franchise.
Anybody. And, exactly. That has set them back 20 years.
Yeah. The most recent one being the Bogdanovich Milwaukee thing.
Yeah.
They tampered. They were about to trade for him or something, and then they found out that they tampered, so they couldn't, and then they got cost a second and a fine or something like that. I don't remember exactly how that went, but that was the most recent example, and which is also just weird. And I feel like there was no basis of like imposing their there's no basis for like punishing the Bulls and the Heat, but if there's I want to look up like Woj tweets of when some of those guys were signed besides Lowry and Lonzo, because there's bound to be some like shit player that was like signed at 12:01 or something that no one cares about.
Well, because there's like I said, it's a cycle of Woj and Shams will tweet a few hours before free agency opens, and we kind of like expect these guys to go a certain place. So then
Yeah,
at 12:01, they say, "Oh, Lonzo Ball is signed with the Bulls," and we're just like, "Okay, we kind of knew that was going to happen."
yeah,
And so, I mean, the same thing happens with not that good players either, to where they'll tweet fucking whoever is going to sign with the Utah
yeah.
Jazz, and everyone's just like,
Like they
"Okay,
know. It's like
yeah,
the same thing with the draft. It's like with Woj announcing picks like 10 minutes in advance.
right, yeah." Yeah,
Um,
exactly. But like I'm just kind of when I saw the fine, I kind of just like let out like a little like a breath of like relief to where I thought they were going to make an example of these two teams because they are bigger market teams because they won the trade. I mean, Pelicans aren't getting
ass blasted by the
fined or
NBA.
anything either. Yeah, the Pelicans aren't, and neither
Um,
are the Raptors.
if if they had cost the Bulls or the Heat a first, I would be pissed
Ooh,
because
yeah,
that would really hurt both teams, and it's just unnecessary.
right,
I think this is unnecessary, to be honest. I don't care because it's a second round pick in
yeah,
2026. But again, I think it's unnecessary because it's who's looking at this around the league that's not the Heat or the Bulls and being like, oh, we shouldn't tamper next year.
right,
They're just gonna get better at it.
right. Yeah,
I
yeah,
bet I
exactly.
bet the Bulls and the Heat are gonna tamper next year. Like, who are we
Yeah,
kidding? Like, they're
exactly.
definitely not.
Yeah.
They're not gonna miss out on key free agents just because they got like a slap on the wrist here.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
So
if they have to give up another second round pick in like 2029, I don't think the Bulls will care, and neither will the Heat.
they should
A
just trade
first,
all their second rounders so that they can't get
exactly.
penalized.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A first round pick would have been bad though, especially with the position that these two teams are in, because that
Yeah.
could, I mean, next year that could be a valuable player, somebody you can just plug in and is like NBA ready, or it can be part of a trade piece to bring other pieces in to help this two teams contend. These are two teams that are looking to be good. So a first round pick would
Yeah.
have been like nightmare scenario. And like I
Tough
said, I
break
was
for tough break for the Heat too with
Bam Adebayo.
Bam Adebayo tearing.
Yeah.
I read that tweet and thought it said ACL,
Yeah,
but
it's like a
Bam
UCL.
Adebayo tore his UCL, which is in the I think wrist.
Yeah. I
It's
think
not
it's
a
like
leg
his
injury, which is like the what you definitely don't want to hear. It's like I think it almost might be what a more severe version of what Zach LaVine had.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's something in his thumb is like
Yeah.
what they
Oh,
said.
it's
Yeah,
thumb. You
thumb
might be right.
wrist
It's
area.
hand.
Yeah.
It's not like knee or leg or Achilles, which is like the real killer. Like if you get knee injuries, it's just a downward spiral from there.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Um,
yeah, big men never get healthier once those knee, foot, ankle
too
injuries
much weight.
start. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's too much weight. I mean, you're 260 pounds and 7 feet tall. Like that can't be easy on the
Yeah.
leg region. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know like not good for Bam. I don't know what the timeline is on him,
I don't
but
either. I could look that up real quick. I did Bam at her bio. Uh, Heat third in the East right now, though. They seem like the kind of team that can deal without one of their better players. They
yeah,
seem well coached and everything.
yeah,
This is
exactly.
Antonelli's Tea
Oh,
Shop, and
jeez.
we're the Antonellis.
Dude, what the
Free marketing for the Antonellis, but it's going to be like a couple months, I think.
really?
He's
Oof.
getting surgery. Well, he's getting surgery. The difference between him and Zach LaVine, besides it being a different injury entirely, but like LaVine played through it.
Right.
A
And it
ligament.
seems like he's okay. Yeah.
This is a torn ligament
Ugh,
in his hand, and it's he's getting surgery for it. But it
yikes.
doesn't seem that. I mean, that is pretty significant, but um, it's not an ACL or anything. It's not. I don't think it's season ending,
Right.
unless there's complications. That's pretty rare, I think, with NBA surgery, where it turns out they're not as good as they are,
Yeah.
health wise. But
Right.
yeah,
Makes
all
sense.
right.
But
I'll leave you with one more question on this Bulls Heat thing.
yeah.
So let's say teams tamper next year. Does the NBA investigate and impose tampering fines on another team next year, 2 years in a row?
Yeah.
You do you think?
Yeah. I
I
think
don't know, man. I'm skeptical again. I don't think they care enough.
I don't know. I think they're trying to be strict on it, and that was why I don't think the NBA really ever even wanted to punish the Bulls and the Heat.
I
You
don't
know,
think so either. I
I,
think,
I just think it was just like okay, we just it happened again, and we have to say something, to
how did
protect
it
it.
take the NBA that long to get rid of like flop shooting fouls, but it took them no one asked for anyone to crack down on tampering, and they cracked down on it like it
Right,
was affecting business. Like who is being hurt in this deal? Small market. Like, are you telling me the Pelicans, who made the trade as well? Like
right, yeah,
they wanted this trade. Like I don't know. There's no one way trades. The Heat and the Bulls didn't trade with each other. What about the and the fucking Pelicans? How come they're not getting penalized?
because they
And like
lost the trades
they lost the
essentially.
trade. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
telling me that like the Pelicans aren't going to get penalized because, or the Pelicans don't want to tamper? They tamper. So
yeah,
it's not like it's hurting small market teams because they're going to be the ones that are involved in these deals as well. So
exactly.
like, really, who are you appeasing with this 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 fine? Like, it really
Ex-
doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. Yeah.
All right, you want to move on to your topic?
Yeah, moving on to my first topic here. Demarcus Cousins is on the Milwaukee Bucks now. The Bucks just signed
Big
him.
buck.
Does it matter?
No.
So I think it I mean in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter, especially because it's a non-guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
But this could just be another instance of it's just another team that Boogie is on. Like he had the short stint with the Rockets. He was
Yeah.
on the Clippers for a few games and all of that. Like so, I mean, I don't know what it's going to turn into, but
It did, however, add another dimension to Giannis's Twitter game, where he tweeted a joke. I don't know if you saw it. He tweeted a joke after they signed Boogie. How do you make a tissue dance?
oh yeah, okay,
Put a little
a little
boogie in it.
Boogie in it. Yeah. Yeah,
Dad
he's talking about his
jokes.
dad jokes. Yeah, I saw that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much it matters at this point. I mean, the Bucks
What?
need it because Brooke Lopez hasn't really played a lot this entire season, and
Yeah,
Bobby
is he
and
gonna get like minutes over? I'd rather play like a guard and go smaller than play old ass, injured ass Boogie Cousins, probably.
but the Bucks are injured all around the table to where like they don't. I don't even know if they even have the depth for that.
Like
You know,
they have a couple of guards, the trio of white guys that's like the Heat light, where they have
Pat
Grayson Allen,
Pat
Pat Connaughton,
Connaughton and
and Dante
Dante
DiVincenzo,
DiVincenzo. Yeah,
who they've all been sort of DiVincenzo's been in and out, banged up and not, but like they have, the capacity to go smaller, and then have
yeah,
Giannis play the five or whatever. But it is worth noting. So the Bucks got off to a slower start. They're on a 7-game win streak,
yeah.
and they're currently tied for third in the East with the Wizards and the Heat, two teams that I think are going to get worse because of the Adebayo injury and because I am not a Wizards believer, as I've
Right.
said. But I mean, the subplot to the Boogie thing, I guess, is this is another dimension to a team that might use some talent, like you said. I don't know if he's going to play or if he's going to play well. I'm not a big Boogie guy, but
I,
they're on a
I
7-game win streak, and the Bucks, who are the defending champions, might very well be the best team in the NBA, looking like they're back up to
yeah.
speed.
I think he does end up playing a fair bit because, like I said, with Brooke Lopez being out and Bobby Portis is fine. I mean, Bobby Portis
Yeah, I like
is a
Bobby Portis.
solid backup center, but there are holes in his game, especially defensively and all of that, to where I think it just adds just something different because I think their backup is probably Mamu.
I was going to say Mamu.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they
probably
also play Jordan Nwora a little bit, although I think they're
yeah,
both in the G League right now.
I think so. Yeah,
But they're both pretty good offensively. I don't think Jordan Moore or Mamu are any good defensively, but
right.
they
Yeah,
bring
so
some
I think
offense. And Mamu's like 6'11". He's got some height. He's got some size to him.
right. Yeah, I think this is very much a low risk, potential high reward thing. To where I mean, I was looking at Boogie's
Yeah,
numbers in on the Clippers particularly. So he played 16 games and
that's
averaged
16 more than I thought he played for the Clippers.
right. I don't even remember that. Yeah, and
Yeah,
he
yeah.
averaged 13. So 13 minutes he was playing. He averaged 8 points on 53% shooting. That's not
I
bad.
mean,
You
He
know
was
that I
probably
mean
like end
for
of the bench. Like that's like 13 minutes a game is like an end of the bench role.
right.
You're playing with like the rookies and stuff. You're coming out when they come out. Yeah, I mean, he's just slow and fat. Like you look at him
Yeah.
defensively, and he like sorry Boogie,
Yeah.
but like you're slow and fat. And
Yeah.
you're injured as hell because you've broken every bone and ligament in your entire body at
Mhm.
one point in your life. And
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
just defensively. Defensively, I just see him every time. Like on the Rockets and on the tail end of his Warriors career, he was getting cooked in pick and rolls like no one's business. His best move defensively is to get a guy in the post and then foul him because he can't
Right.
stop him usually.
And
Like
it's dude, the fall off was insane. I mean, there's a
it was
whole
nuts.
generation of people who are basketball fans post, 2017, 2018,
2017. Yeah,
that don't know how good DeMarcus Cousins was
I
for
think
a
he's
good,
ass.
yeah, for a good stretch of time. He was the best center in the
The
NBA.
best, it was like him and Marcus Gasol, but
Dwight
Boogie was
Howard.
way.
It was like Dwight
Oh yeah,
Howard, Marcus
yeah,
Gasol. Like as those guys were getting
um,
more to like the tail end of their careers,
yeah.
DeMarcus Cousins was the best center in the league.
I mean, he was averaging like 28 or maybe I don't know, like 27, and like 10 boards and
Right.
good defense. Like he was a monster offensively. He would wreck teams.
And then
Even on the Pelicans, him and
right.
AD with the Twin Towers lineup, they would wreck teams.
Oh
Like
yeah,
teams
I
would not be
remember watching
prepared for
that.
those two
Yeah.
guys.
That front
Yeah,
court was frightening. Yeah, and then he went to the
nasty.
Warriors, which I mean going from the first option on the garbage Kings for years, being Anthony Davis's second option, like it was
Yeah.
a duo basically in New Orleans, and then going to being the fourth, fifth option in Golden State. I don't think. I mean, was it a good? I mean, he was trying to get a ring. I mean, I know what he was trying to do,
Yeah,
so
I
I'm not
mean,
going to say it was a bad career move, but
there's proof. There's living proof on the internet that Boogie was really, really good at one point. If you look at the reaction of when Boogie signed with the Warriors in that offseason,
I was
the,
livid.
the sentiment was not. He signed for I think the mid-level exception around 5 million, if I'm not mistaken,
He
and
signed to a vet. I'm pretty sure he signed to a vet minimum.
I thought it was like five, the mid-level exception. It might have been the vet minimum, but he signed for nothing, and the reaction wasn't like, "Oh, he's washed and he's old." The reaction was like, "The Warriors aren't going to lose a game, and they're
Yeah,
just going to fucking kill everyone because
yeah,
Boogie's like an All-Pro center, and he just joined his team." We were wrong, but we didn't know that at the time
right.
because
Well,
he was
because
that good.
it's a shame. And then the other thing too is that he wasn't even in his prime yet. Like he was the best center in the league for I'd say like 2, 3 years.
Eh,
Dude,
he was in his prime.
Boogie was 27 when
Yeah, that's his
the
prime
injury started. He tore his
on the
Achilles.
Kings.
He tore his Achilles. He tore his ACL, I believe. I think he tore. He got injured a lot.
I mean, it's
You
not
know,
like a Penny Hardaway situation where it's like, oh, if we could have seen his prime, like we saw his prime. We saw like the best basketball that Boogie would have played. I don't think if like a lot of that was a function of him being on the shittiest Kings teams ever and being the
yeah.
only scoring option besides like whatever guard rotation they had between like Tyreek Evans or
But
Isaiah Thomas or
do
something.
you not think that there was a chance to unlock other parts of his games? As the game of basketball changed, I mean, maybe he was going to become a 3 point,
Oh
like a better 3 point shooter or anything like that. I mean, he's 30 years old right now, and I'd say
yeah,
his career's about done.
yeah. I mean, he's floundering around. I'm surprised the Bucks signed him. I really was. I was like,
Yeah,
okay. Not that I don't think I don't really care because I don't think he's that impactful of a player.
right,
That's the ticket to longevity is being a good shooter, and he's not.
exactly.
It's just not in his game, and it never was. What I thought he was pretty good at, what he could have developed as a skill as a big man, is passing. I thought he
Hmm.
was a pretty good passing big man for a big. He
Yeah,
wasn't like Jokic or
with
anything, not even
nobody to
close.
pass
But
to on that Kings team.
exactly, and
Yeah,
like, and if you're talking about like, oh, we could have seen more dimensions of his game. Maybe we could have seen a version of Boogie where he's that guy that averages 27 and 12 and is like like a Draymond almost, where he's on an
yeah,
offense and he can pass out of the post, pass out of double teams, pass to 3-point guys. But again, he never had a lot of great people to pass to on any of those teams.
no,
And when he was on the Warriors, he didn't play enough to the point where he could do that anyways, and he was banged up. So
right,
yeah, he could have been better maybe, but statistically speaking, I think that was as good as he was going to get on the Kings. I don't
understandable.
think there was another like Penny Hardaway. Like if Penny Hardaway didn't get hurt, he could have been like an MVP maybe.
Yeah,
But I don't think
Grant
I don't.
Hill, other guys like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
I don't think
I
the
mean,
situations are very comparable.
I don't think it's a huge what if, but I think
Right.
there was still potential to. I mean, especially playing on that Golden State team, like of him
That'd
to
be, yeah.
unlock, becoming a better 3-point shooter. And maybe his career would be different now if he was able to unlock that being in that Warriors system. But
Yeah.
I guess
The
we'll never
Warriors
know.
can't give you a shot, then I guess no one can.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Shout
for
out
some
Ron
of you
Adams.
people that don't know how good Boogie used to be, go look it up. This guy was, like I said, the best center in the league
All
for a
NBA.
good 2-3 years,
Yeah.
easy.
I
And
think George Karl fucking hated him, though, which is
oh
pretty
yeah,
funny.
oh yeah. But I mean, that's all I have to say on that one. Then, what do you got for me next?
Yeah. So my next topic I was going to bring up is that the original topic was titled that the West is pretty weak. But I
Mm,
think the league right now as a whole the landscape of the NBA is looking different. In the past couple of
yeah,
years in the NBA, when you look at the NBA and you see teams the way they lay out, you have the top tier teams, the contenders really. There's like a few, 3 maybe. And then you go down to the playoff teams, the Nuggets, the Jazz usually, and then the mediocre teams that might make the playoffs and then everyone else.
yeah,
This year, there's not a dominant team that sticks out to me. I mean, we'll get
right,
to the Suns and Warriors later, but even they look like they're beatable. It's not like a LeBron team where I'm like, no one's going to beat them,
right,
or the
yeah.
Warriors,
Or
the
the Warriors
Warriors of
for that
past
few
where I
years,
was like,
yeah,
they're not going to get beaten. Um, Out east, like the Nets are in the 1 seed, and I mean, it looks like anyone could beat them. It
right.
looks
And
like
then,
they could walk into like the Pistons place and lose by like 10 or something. Like and the Bulls are a 2 seed. They have their troubles. They're a solid team and they're fun to
mm,
watch, but like they have no bigs, and once they start facing guys like Embiid and Giannis and even Kevin
they're
Durant even more,
getting
like
cooked, yeah,
they're getting cooked. And so I just look at the NBA standings and I think it's interesting, especially out west. You have some bad teams occupying a lot of playoff spots. You have in the 4th seed, you have the Mavericks, who are only 1 game above 500, and then you have the Clippers, the Timberwolves, and the Lakers. All of those teams have struggled mightily at one point or
and
another
the
this season.
Lakers. I don't know if you watched last night. That was the
Against the
first.
Kings.
That was the first like dominant win that they had like this entire season. Like legit, all of the games that they have won, it looks like they're like Frank Vogel has told them like you're not allowed to win by more than 10. Like
Yeah,
you
you
have to
can't cover the
you
spread
have
if
to
you're
make it a
favored.
close. You have to make it a close game so you don't hurt their feelings. Like it's been hard to
Embarrassing,
watch.
man.
Yeah,
It's been
it's
really bad.
embarrassing. It's
Like
been
for
hard
a
to watch.
team,
Yeah.
for one of the best players of all time and one of the best franchises ever, and a team that had 2 seed, 1 seed championship expectations, they look
Yeah.
like dog shit. I know we dunked on the Lakers last podcast, rightfully so, but they're supposed to be a flagship franchise in the West right now, and they're getting bodied by bad teams, and they're the 8th seed behind the Timberwolves, who I think suck, and they're better this year than they've been, but I think they're bad. And the
That's a
Clippers,
different
who
episode for a different time, but I don't think they're a bad team anymore.
I think they're not the Timberwolves bad, but they're bad. Like they're not gonna do anything that makes me go, oh wow, the Timberwolves basketball. Like,
Right. Yeah. I mean, Anthony Edwards has been really good.
sure, but he was good last year.
Yeah. True.
We'll get into that some other time. They're not
Yeah.
horrible. They're not horrible,
Right.
but they're not a great team. The
Um,
Clippers are okay.
the Blazers suck, man.
The Blazers. Have you seen the Blazers home and away splits?
No.
At home, the Blazers are 10-1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Away,
And away they're
they're 1-10.
1-10. Yeah.
And they're sitting at 500 right now.
How does that even happen? Like,
Is the Rose Garden like that much? Like maybe they have like something in the water in the home locker room that's just like Michael's secret stuff where Dame
right.
takes it. And because they're defensively at home, they've been locked down, and then offensively they give up 120 points a game.
Right.
Or on defense away,
Yeah.
they give up 120 a game, and it's just like they're kind of like they've always been this way, sort of, even when they were like better than this, but they've been better than.
I don't even know if they make. I don't even know if they make the playoffs this year.
I don't think so. They'll make the play-in, I bet, but that's only because the teams that won't make the play-in are horrible and don't want to in the West. The Kings, the Spurs, the Thunder, the Pelicans, and the Rockets.
Hey, don't sleep on the Rockets. They went on like a 3-game winning streak.
Kevin, they're currently on a 3-game win streak after
Christian Wood's playing great, man. I think he's been averaging like 20
Kevin Porter had
or
that
something.
triple-double where you see that where
So
they
actually, he didn't have the triple-double.
Oh, they took it away from him?
They took it away from him, did you? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they took the triple-double away from him, which is very –
Poor guy.
That's some, like – that's some Feds mentality right there. Like
Feds mentality, yeah.
How the hell are they going to take that one rebound from him?
I don't know. It's NBA another tangent that we could get. I could make a whole topic out of this. NBA stat keeping is pretty flawed. You wonder if you really think about it. Like, you think like, okay, there's a guy keeping track of assists and rebounds, and he tallies it up. But if you look at some Nuggets games and you see how much leeway they give Jokic for assists, like he'll like inbound the ball, or he'll get the ball in the inbound, give it to some other guy. He'll go the length of the court and lay it up, and they'll give an assist to Jokic, who passed him the ball. Like, I'm dead serious. It's the craziest thing ever. Like, they stat pad for Jokic, and it's not even funny. Like, he deserves all the accolades as a passer. I'm not saying he's like being padded or something, but like a few assists a game, he gets like generous stat sheet help. But anyways, back to my topic. The Grizzlies are the 5th seed in the West. No one is afraid of that team.
No.
The Mavericks are the 4th seed. Again, one game above 500. We'll get to Luka later.
They look like a second round like exit. Like even
they look like a first round exit, man.
Yeah. I mean, if they run into the wrong team, they very much could be.
But, yeah. What if they played the Clippers again? If the Clippers win one game, they'd be playing in the playoffs started today. They'd be playing the Clippers again.
I'd like to see it. I kind of like that little rivalry. That's going on there.
I don't think they beat the Clippers again, just because I think it's funny that they go 0-3 in 3 years. Yeah. But I like the Clippers are an okay team. They're not great. They remind me of the Clippers team that was an 8th seed and took 2 games off of the really dominant.
They had Pepev and Gallo and Lou Will. Zubac was on that team.
Montrez, I think.
Trez was on that team. Yeah. That was a very, very scrappy team. And I mean, who knows? I mean, if Kawhi Leonard comes back too, I mean, that's a whole different Clippers team then. I mean, I don't know what they're planning to do. I don't know if they want to bring Kawhi back just for 2 rounds of the playoffs. Because I mean, I think with Kawhi back, they could probably beat the Mavs in 6 or 7 games, but in the second round, I mean, they'd run into somebody like the Jazz or the Suns or anything like that, and I don't think they'd win those games. I don't think they'd win.
Yeah, I just think the West is significantly weaker than the East, for sure. This is how I view the West, and we'll get into the Suns Warriors later since that's our main topic. But I think there's 4 tiers right now in the West out of 15 teams. I think there's tier 1, Suns and Warriors. They're alone in their own tier, the best teams in the conference. I'm a little skeptical about the Warriors just because who they played, but they have Steph Curry, so I can't be. Yeah. They can beat anyone, and they can kill anyone. Then we have tier 2, which is just one team, the Jazz, because they're really, really solid, and they're not going anywhere, but I don't think they're on the level of the Suns or the Warriors. They've had their struggles. Donovan Mitchell has been pretty ass this year in terms of like living up to what Donovan Mitchell should be, which is a superstar and arguably the best player on that team.
Well, Rudy Gobert has been pretty good too. I mean, he's just doing Rudy Gobert things. Yeah,
I fucking love Rudy Gobert. So then they're in their own tier. Then we have the 3rd tier, which is the mediocre teams, which is Mavericks in the 4th seed, and that extends all the way down to the Trailblazers in the 10th seed. So you have the Mavericks, the Grizzlies, Clippers, Timberwolves, Lakers, Nuggets, Blazers. They're all in the same tier of mediocre dog shit. Like if the Nuggets, who are the 9th seed currently, ended up as a 4th seed and the Mavericks ended up as the 9th seed, would you be like totally surprised?
No, because I mean all of these games are like one. Because like you said, the Clippers, if they won a game or 2, they'd be like the 3 seed in the in the West.
They're just mediocre, and then you have the dog shit tier, which is the Kings, Spurs, Thunder, Pelicans, and Rockets, who are dog shit and won't make the playoffs. Because if any of those teams make the playoffs, and even the Kings, who are like playoff adjacent, they're it's not gonna happen. I'd bet a lot of money that none of those teams make the playoffs. But that's the current shakedown of the West, and it's like you look at some of those teams in years past, some of those years in teams past where it's like the Suns won 48 games and didn't make the playoffs, or like 2013, or like some of those really dominant years.
No, that's
this
insane.
This is not the same Western Conference.
Yeah,
no
because before it used to be like Yeah, like you said, like I mean, like the 9 seed before there was a play-in game, the 9 seed could have won like 42, 43 games,
Yeah,
and
and
people would
then
have been
just
like,
get
"Oh, like I'm
fucked.
mad
And
this team's not in the playoffs." But right now, like you said,
usually
there's
it
like
was Mark
five,
Cuban
six teams. Like,
arguing for 16-team format, regardless of
mm,
conference, which is just dumb, and I think it sucks, and I hope that never happens.
and it'd be
Um,
extra bad right now, like
yeah.
having to watch like the Kings or something playing
Dude,
playoff
if
basketball.
the Mavericks were in the East right now, they would be tied for. So in the East, there is a five-way tie for seventh. They would be part of a six-way tie, more or less, for seventh place, extending all the way down to the 12th seed.
Right.
Like, it's
Yikes.
pretty shit. Um,
I
I don't
think
know.
there's only 4 real contenders in the NBA right now. And I
Four,
think
you
it
think?
is the Warriors, the Suns, the Nets, and the Bucks are the
Yeah,
only
I agree.
teams that I think could go to the finals.
I agree.
Straight up.
Um, you confidently excluding the Jazz?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jazz the
Okay, just
Jazz.
checking.
I think they'll
Jazz are the Jazz.
go to
I
the
agree.
second round, and I don't think they would beat the Warriors. I don't think they would beat the Suns, and I very much think they could pull some Utah Jazz shit and lose to a team like the Lakers in the second round, or lose to the Clippers, or lose to
Yeah.
like they just like I could very much see like they just get like blindsided by like the Grizzlies or something in the first or second round and end up losing in like 7 games.
Yeah, well, right now, if the playoffs ended today, and this format looks like it's going to be more or less what we're going to see going forward. There's going to be some flip flopping between the top two teams and then the other teams, obviously. But the Jazz would play either the Suns or the Warriors in the second round, and it's like,
I don't see them
you
beating them.
know,
Yeah,
that's not. I don't think that's a win in either case.
no,
I think the Warrior Gobert gets played off the floor again. Again, another topic of conversation. I think Rudy Gobert gets a bad rep for Utah's perimeter defense lacking, and him having to pick up the slack. Because if Curry blows past Donovan Mitchell's shitty defense and then catches Gobert off guard, and Gobert allows the layup, you see people on Twitter being like, "Oh my God,
this is
Gobert."
defensive player of the year.
Yeah,
This and
yeah,
that.
Rudy
Yeah,
Gobert sucks, but he does get played off the floor sometimes. I mean, that's just the way the NBA is. And again, like
yeah,
third seed in the West. I think the Warriors and the Suns would both. Maybe not so much the Suns because they could have Ayton in there. They're not taking Ayton off the floor, but the
no,
Warriors could definitely put Draymond in there and play Rudy Gobert off the floor.
yeah, no,
So
definitely. Yeah, like I said, like I don't see them beating the Warriors or the Suns. It'd be a good series. I'd love to watch it, but
yeah,
I don't like their odds. And like I said, I could see them also losing to a team like the Lakers. I could see, like I said, them just getting like underestimating and just getting blindsided by like the Grizzlies or something like that. And yeah, no, I don't know. I don't. I leave them like they're like I said. There's 4 contenders. They're the 5th team. They're right outside
yeah,
of that bubble.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
Um,
moving on to the next topic I have here, it's a team that is far from a contender now. The Denver Nuggets are done. That Michael
yeah, they're
Porter
done.
Jr. news is not what you want to hear. As a Denver fan, he is out for the season. So now they are missing Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. And Jokic
For
basically
most of the
has to
season.
go out and do it on his own. And I don't think they go past the first round of the
Well,
playoffs.
it's a little maybe misleading to say that they are done now because I think they always were
They always
done.
were done, yeah.
Because you look and you say, oh, now Jokic has to do everything himself. He's been doing everything himself.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the way Michael Porter Jr. was playing this year, are they really going to miss him?
Yeah,
He
no,
was horrible. He was shooting. He's averaging under 10 points a game. He's
not a good
shooting
defender.
horrible splits. He can't move. He looks like he has a chronic injury. He plays
Yeah.
like it. Like there honestly might be some guy to step up for the Nuggets who will take Porter Jr.'s minutes and run with them because Porter Jr. was ass. But we talked about it earlier. This is horrible for the Nuggets. They're a small market team that just took a gamble on this guy who's
Oh,
got a
yeah.
5-year max deal, and they have to deal with him for 5 years max money every single season until 2026, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Because, yeah, it could
dude,
be,
like
like I
Christ,
said
man.
before, this could be Andrew Wiggins level of robbery. To where, I mean, if he can't even
More so. He
'cause, I
can't
mean,
even play.
yeah, he played like shit and he was injured. So,
Wiggins is
like,
like useful now. Porter Jr. is horrible. He's an albatross of a contract. Really,
yeah,
just
yeah.
trash. Like,
Because I hope for the Nuggets' sake that it doesn't turn into, this becomes one of the bad contracts of the NBA. And I mean, if he can't, I mean, it's a different thing to where, I mean, Wiggins just wasn't meeting expectations and he was giving you whatever, like 20 points per game on terrible efficiency and awful defense. But like, I'd
yeah,
still take that over just not being able to play.
yeah. I mean, it's the Nuggets are gonna have to keep fighting that uphill battle of being a small market team now more than ever. And
Yeah.
it kind of sucks because Jokic is awesome. I love watching him in prime time. I
Right.
love watching this seemingly out of shape, sort of oafy looking guy just throw up like bullshit and have it go
Yeah.
in every single time
Yeah.
against like superstar teams. I think a healthy Nuggets team, if Porter Jr. is really healthy and Jamal Murray's healthy, they could give a lot of teams trouble. Like
Right.
that's a really good team this year. Maybe not a contender, but maybe even above the Jazz tier.
Mm.
Like they're just it just sucks. I mean, they're exciting to watch, and now they're going to be a bunch of bums running around with Jokic
It'll
passing.
it'll be a shame if that championship window closes sooner than people thought it was going to where even last year,
Probably will.
I was super, super optimistic about this team when they lost to the Lakers in the 2020 playoffs. To where, I mean, they lost in, I believe it was 5 games, but I was like, if I was a Nuggets fan, I'd be okay. And the offseason that they had, I was just like, nobody's going to get fired. Nobody's going to get shipped out of Denver. I mean, like, that was a loss that they were expected to take, and I was like, this is a team that you could run it back with the same guys and just hope of improvement. And they made the Aaron Gordon move and all of that stuff to where I was like, okay, I like this team, and I think they're making all the right moves, but they just can't catch a break. With Jamal Murray getting injured and Michael Porter Jr. playing like shit, and now he's hurt. It'd be a shame if they, like I said, if that championship window closes sooner than we would have hoped for it to. Because
I think it did.
last year if they had Jamal Murray and with the way that Michael Porter Jr. was playing, I would have thought that they could maybe
Go
beat.
to the finals.
Yeah, go to the finals. Yeah, the West was
They
wide
might
open.
not beat the Bucks or the Nets last year, but they
No,
go to
no,
the
no, no.
finals.
I don't think so. Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah,
Yeah, so I
they're
think
like
the signs are pointing to maybe that window could be closing sooner than we expected, and it's a shame because I like Jokic there, and I hope it doesn't turn into him wanting to get out or Jamal Murray regresses a ton from this injury or
yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. just continues to be shit.
Did you see the video of Jokic in Miami? He was at some nightclub and they played the Serbian national anthem.
Yeah, his
And
club fit his
the,
his club fit was weak. Uh,
you think
it's
so? He had like the
yeah,
floral shirt or whatever.
yeah. I'm just like, dude, you are a multi
Yeah,
millionaire, man. Like, I
I'm
don't
sort
know.
of in the camp where if you're in the NBA and you've won the MVP, you can wear like fucking whatever you want. You can wear like
True.
mom jeans. Like imagine Tim Duncan in the club. Like they'd accept him with anything because he's Tim Duncan.
Yeah, no, Tim Duncan's another guy that cannot dress for his
Yeah, and
life.
like Jokic is a guy that doesn't care about like drip or like he has zero
No,
drip.
yeah,
There's like no like he doesn't care. He just plays basketball, and like I didn't even know he was like a club guy. Like I guess he was with his brothers like, having fun in Miami, which
right.
apparently they've forgotten all about the Markieff Morris incident, just like everyone else
Yeah, no,
has.
I know, yeah, because like it's funny. Like I'm just gonna go on a tangent about like there are a ton of guys in the NBA that do care about what they wear. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
like league
there's
fits
guys
is
in
like
the NBA
is
that
a
care
huge
more
thing.
about like being in the club than being in the NBA.
Oh, 100%. Like, yeah, there's so many guys that care more about because I mean, I think even like JJ Redick said it on one of his shows or in an interview or something that guys care more about the outfit that they're wearing before their
Yeah,
game than they
it's
do,
it's true. You can
whatever,
see it
which
in
is
some of these
true.
guys.
And then there's the guys that don't really care, like a Jokic or like
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan or even Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
yeah. I
Michael
mean,
Jordan didn't care.
it's always funny how like a picture of Jordan will go viral and he'll be wearing like something crazy like a Travis Scott Jordan 1 and he'll have like some like bogus jeans on, like some
Yeah,
baggy
mom
ass
jeans.
like
He loves the mom jeans,
Aladdin
and it's like,
pants. Yeah.
but that's like almost drip. That's almost like so little drip that it comes full circle and becomes drip because like If you
Right.
have you're Michael Jordan and you have like the shittiest clothes ever on, that fit becomes like ironically good,
And
like so
right.
bad
And
that
then
it's good.
the other thing too is like I don't know what people expect. Michael Jordan's 58 years old.
Yeah,
To
that
where
too.
like
And he's a billionaire. He owns the fucking
right.
Hornets. Like he can, I don't
To where
know.
I see him wearing these pants and like people will clown him. I'm like, do you guys want him to dress like Gunna or something? Like what do you guys expect? He's 58 years old.
Have you seen him? Have you seen how he watches Hornets games sometimes? He
Yes, yeah.
sits at the end of the
Uh,
fucking bench and yells at the players to like do shit. Like he
he wasn't
coaches
doing
the
that
team.
before. I don't know why that
Yeah,
just like started.
because they're
Um,
they're defensively they're horrible. But
horrible.
like, can you imagine how quiet that is to be the politest bench in the league? Like you see some
Yeah.
benches, they like act out or they like jump on the court and do dances and stuff. Like whenever campaign is on the
Yeah.
bench and stuff like that. And then, but like you do that in front of Jordan and you suck. Like,
Yeah, that's like when like your dad's home and you're like on like
yeah,
your best behavior to where like I remember I saw a tweet. So have you heard Miles Bridges rap?
he raps now.
Yeah.
Does he have a rap name?
Yeah, but I don't remember what it is. He has like music videos and shit. And like he
Okay,
had a music video, it was like him, Terry Rozier, some of the other guys on there too. And like
Lamelo's in
someone
there. Lamelo's got like the most drip in the NBA. Probably
LaMelo
he's
might
got
have
like tier one drip
oh,
artist.
100%. Yeah, if you
Yeah,
guys want to see us rate
ranked
the
players
fit
drip.
kings of the NBA, we can do that for another episode. But
Lamelo's tier one.
oh
He's
yeah,
definitely tier one.
but yeah, so it was one of Miles Bridges' music videos, and like it was like Terry Rozier and like a couple other guys in there too. And someone quoted it, and they were just like, "I know for a fact that Gordon Hayward has to be the only person that Jordan talks to on a regular basis on this team, like for sure."
Yeah.
But man, what were we? We're talking about the Nuggets, right? What the hell did we
Yeah, the
get
Nuggets are
here?
done.
Yeah. All
The
right.
Nuggets are done, and Jokic has no drip, but he has reverse drip, where it's so bad that it comes back around full circle and becomes Serbian. He has Serbian drip. He has like a
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Serbian thing
Yeah.
going on. Like he
Yeah.
needs
No.
like an
Definitely.
Adidas tracksuit and like that would be if he came out in Adidas tracksuits and his
Dude.
brothers did too, then they would
Like a
dominate the club.
like a maroon
Dominate.
Adidas
Like
tracksuit
a
driving a
yeah.
BMW M3. Like that's what I see. That's how I see
What
Jokic.
do you
Like
think Jokic drives? You think he's like a
a
Kawhi where he drives like a
BMW, a
98?
BMW
You think
M3,
he drives a
or
BMW
like an
M3?
Audi
Like a
A4 or
transporter?
something. Because I know
Yeah,
he's driving a
yeah,
European car. Like it's
yeah.
it's proven by
He's not
science.
he's not
Yeah,
driving American if that's what
Mm.
you're saying, or like Japanese made or Korean or
Like
something. He's not driving
Jokic
a
in like
fucking
a
Honda.
Jokic in like a Tesla. I just don't think it's right. Like
Jokic in like a 2004 Ford Fiesta.
exactly. If you are from Eastern Europe, you are driving a BMW, an Audi, or Mercedes,
Yeah,
something
with a
along those
tracksuit.
lines. With a tracksuit,
If
yeah. With
if you're to all the listeners out there that are from Eastern Europe, if you're Eastern European, drop below what kind of car you drive and what tracksuit you would drive with it if you were Jokic.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, 100%. But yeah. Moral of the story: we've gone through so many different tangents, but yeah, the Nuggets are done. They've been
maybe
done,
that's the
and
problem with the Nuggets is Jokic has no drip.
yeah, I'm trying to even think who
Food
else
for
on that
thought.
team would make up for his lack of drip. I
Bones
mean, it's
Highland,
probably not
just because of his name.
Fachu Campazzo.
No.
Maybe no. Austin Rivers is on that team.
Aaron Gordon's got some drip.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon. Yeah,
A little drip, bit of drip.
for sure.
Austin Rivers has a little bit of drip.
I actually want to do this for another episode. Let's save
We
this.
should definitely do a drip topic ranking players drip. We that could be a top 10 at the
Yeah,
end of an episode.
let's save this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely. But
Yeah.
okay, moving too many tangents here. We're moving on to your next topic. What do you got?
Yeah, this applies because the Sacramento Kings are ass. That's really it. They've reached peak dysfunction early in the season at 20 games in, 8-14. They fired Luke Walton directly after some fan courtside puked all over the court. Don't know if you saw that. Didn't see that?
No.
There was a fan courtside at the Kings game who was just projectile vomited everywhere on the court. He leaned down and just belched all over the court, and it was like a 30-minute delay to clean up the court.
That's disgusting.
And the people, it was fucking gross. It was
I know
vile.
that got memed. I'm sure it got memed. Like because I mean,
That's why they call him Puke Walton, because he got fired after that game.
no way. Yeah, and then like I mean, also like I mean, I'd probably puke if I had to watch a Kings basketball game live too. Like,
That's
I don't
exactly.
blame him. So I
That's
know
the
that
reaction to
got
Kings
memed.
basketball
Yeah,
ever since Rick Adelman got fired.
yeah.
Speaking of Rick Adelman, he's the winningest coach in Kings history. Do you want to know who the second one is? Can you guess? He's had a
It's
really good for Kings basketball. He's had a really successful coaching career.
I do. I just saw it on Twitter. Was it not Luke Walton?
It's Luke Walton.
Yeah, that's what I was. I'm pretty sure I saw it on Twitter. Yeah,
all the success that Luke Walton's had with
that's
the Kings.
that's embarrassing.
Fucking
God.
horrible. I mean,
Oh.
they're dysfunctional. They didn't trade. They still have Marvin Bagley on the team, who's publicly done everything he can to get traded because they're not playing him.
Buddy Hield's been in trade rumors for like 3 years.
Yeah, Harrison
Like,
Barnes has been a popular trade rumor guy, and he's probably their best player. De'Aaron Fox has been bad this season.
yeah,
He's really good. He was sort of a surprise of that draft class, only because he was taken behind Fultz and Lonzo.
yeah, because he was
like
very much looked at as the other,
the other
guard
guard
in
with
that.
Dennis Smith or whatever, if
Yeah,
that was that same draft. But
that was
he's
a thing too. Yeah, no, Dennis Smith went I think 10th, and yeah, so that was
uh,
the
I think Fox went 6 and Dennis Smith went either
Fox went
8 or
Fox went 5th
5th. Okay, yeah,
because
5th.
it was Fultz, Lonzo, Jason Tatum,
Yeah.
Josh Jackson, De'Aaron Fox.
Okay, yeah, and then I think Smith was 8 or 10. 8 is coming to mind.
Something
But
like that.
he's a horrible player, and
Yeah.
and Fox has been bad, and he's been like the lone bright spot of the season. I know earlier in the season, Kings turned down Ben Simmons trade rumors of they wanted Fox and Hield, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and Ben Simmons to the Kings is looking like a better and better move for the Kings every single day. Funny enough,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd do that maybe, but another thing, the Kings have an all-time great backcourt nickname. So they have De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton. Fox and Halliburton, they call him the War Machine because like the Iraq War, like.
Oh, okay.
So it's sort of like a dumb like like no one's gonna go out there and be like, oh, they're the War Machine because of the Iraq War. Like,
yeah.
But I think it's pretty clever.
Pretty
specific.
Yeah.
Pretty specific nickname, but they're ass. I mean, they've been ass for my entire life, basically.
Yeah.
And they're like Timberwolves levels of ass now, where they're maybe not the new Timberwolves,
They're worse.
but
They're worse. They haven't made the playoffs since 2006.
Yeah, I think you actually are right. They are worse.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't know why I
definitely
said
worse.
that.
Yeah.
Their dysfunctional level is horrible. They pass up Luka. How do you be a Kings fan? How do you?
I think we need to do because I think they were the worst drafting team of the last 10 years. So them drafting Marvin Bagley over Luka is the big one, but they have so many low-key, terrible draft picks that we don't even remember.
Stauskas, Jimmer Fredette.
Nick Stauskas, Jimmer Fredette, all that. I think that can be
Marvin
a whole other
Bagley,
episode. Yeah.
We can make a whole episode about how bad the Kings are. But yeah, no, I think Vivek Ranadiv is a horrible owner. I don't say horrible owner. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he hasn't done anything to make the Kings succeed except build a new arena, which looks pretty cool. You seen the new arena?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
they've got pretty solid Wi-Fi from what I've heard.
Really?
And you're gonna need it because you're gonna be on your phone by the third quarter because the Kings are gonna be down like 17 with the backups in for both sides.
Yeah, I think my thoughts on this is that they should just trade everyone. Let's blow it up again. Legit.
Because they're always the best bad team. Like they're always the best team that's like the 12 seed instead of the 15.
Right.
The 15 seed or like the 11 seed instead of the 15 seed. And it's like the Magic were sort of in that mode before they blew it up. Smart of them, I think, because they weren't going anywhere with Vucevic and Fournier and Gordon.
So I think trade everyone except for Tyrese Halliburton and Davion Mitchell.
Yeah, even Fox is expendable. Yeah, Mitchell's been really good.
Exactly. Trade De'Aaron Fox, trade Rashawn Holmes, trade Harrison Barnes, Buddy Hield, Marvin Bagley.
Anyone who has value.
Yeah, no, legit. Let's clean house, clean slate. They fired Luke Walton. I don't know who's gonna come
Alvin
in.
Gentry.
No, but for next year. I mean, I don't think.
Next year, right?
What the hell is Alvin Gentry good for at this point? He's not a great coach. He's not a good coach either.
Mean to Alvin Gentry.
Look what he did in New Orleans.
Yeah, okay. Fuck Alvin Gentry. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't know
They
who's
have a better
gonna.
road record than the Trailblazers.
Interesting. I
They're
mean,
they're
yeah,
5-6 to the Trailblazers 1-10.
1-10. Yeah,
So
gosh. But yeah, they're just not a good team, and I think they should just blow it up. Honestly, I mean, what's the point? What's 4 or 5 more years out of the playoffs?
yeah,
You
I
know?
mean they should probably hire some exciting assistant that has proven success or a cool college coach. They should try to swing like Juwan Howard or some guy who's on the up. Like even Penny Hardaway, maybe. I don't like Penny Hardaway as a coach at all. I think he's a
Yeah.
terrible coach. He's a great
Mm.
recruiter, but a terrible coach. But they need a guy who has like energy and has like wants to build a program or something.
You know who would actually be a really good fit for that?
Who?
Dave Leto. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the DePaul coach? I mean, it would be fitting,
not good enough
because
for DePaul, so he fails upwards Lane Kiffin style and goes to the
yeah,
Kings.
no, I mean, I
Uh,
think, yeah, like you said, I mean, I don't even know who would want it. I wouldn't want to take this job, like straight up.
I mean, I don't know. Like who is like Monty Williams has been a really good hire for the Suns, but there
Mm,
was a period after he was the where was he? The Pelicans,
yes,
where there was like 4, 5, 6 years where no one considered Monty Williams. They considered him, but they didn't hire him. And now look at him. Like he's
yeah,
a lot of that has to do with Chris Paul, obviously, but Monty Williams has been a slam dunk hire
yeah,
for them. So you never know. I mean, it all
mm,
it takes is one coach to set the culture and one GM that's not a complete fuck up like Vlade is.
right,
Um, that's the hope for the Kings. Obviously, easier said than done. It's not a very thorough plan, but
right,
it's better
yeah.
than what they have now, which is whatever the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, I think, like I
So
said, I just think they should blow it up. There's no point anymore. The season's
yeah,
done. Like, and they fired the coach, so there's no hope for right now. So, I mean, then like I said, what's 5 more years out of the playoffs? You might as well set a record: 20 years without being in the playoffs.
maybe you'll get some NBA rig action where Adam Silver feels bad for them and rigs the
Yeah,
lottery
and
so that
rigs the
they get.
lottery. Yeah,
Well, they did. I say that, but they rigged the lottery for them last time because they had like the seventh best odds and got the number 2 overall pick and completely fucked it up by not drafting Luca and
yeah.
taking
There's one
Marvin
thing on
Bagley
Marvin
instead.
Bagley. Yeah, yeah. Maybe they'll be the
So
of the Chet Holmgren sweepstakes.
they're probably too good for Chet Holmgren. That's probably going to be
Maybe.
Orlando or Houston, one of the really shitty teams.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we
But
don't know. I mean, with the new draft odds, like, I mean, we don't know. I mean, the Pelicans had a very, very low chance of getting the number
yeah,
one
they
pick,
did.
and they got that. But okay, I mean, moving on then to, I mean, the Kings suck, and we know this. Moving on to my last topic that I have today. Kemba Walker has played himself out of the Knicks lineup. And I was watching Kenny KOT4Q, and he raised a good point. I think this just means we're getting old, man. Like the guys that we grew up watching being all-stars, being all NBA players are getting played out of rotations. Blake Griffin is out of the Nets rotation.
I mean, it happens. I'm not going
Yeah.
to cry over
No,
Blake
no.
Griffin and
No,
Kemba Walker,
definitely
but like,
definitely not, but like,
I mean, Kemba was horrible on the Celtics. This people fully expected him to either have a resurgence or be dog shit, and he's dog shit. Like he was bad on the Celtics when they signed him, expecting Hornets Kemba Walker. They got an injured, beat up version that scores 1 point in the playoffs
yeah,
and can't really pass the ball, can't dribble, definitely can't defend. He's a horrible defender.
horrible,
His
yeah.
plus minus is fucking atrocious. I
Yeah.
actually think it
He,
is the worst in the league.
no way.
It is the worst. He is the worst plus minus in the league. Take it that how you want it with plus minus, but like he's
hmm
horrible. And Tom Thibodeau has completely replaced him in the rotation with Alec Burks. Alec Burks starts at point guard. Never thought of Alec Burks as a guard that you handle the ball. I always thought of him as more of a two.
Yeah, I
But
think that that's coming from, I know he said that he didn't like running a small guard rotation. So I think he was
yeah,
like, okay, he was like, Alec Burks is what, like 6'3", 6'4", we can just throw him in
got
there.
some height. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, he's not really a facilitator or anything like that. But I mean, that's just how bad Kemba's been, to where
he's been
he's
bad.
willing to throw a non-traditional, like a not real point guard out there, just to get Kemba off the floor. Kemba is averaging a career low of 11 points per game on 42% shooting from the field, 41% from the three, which is like I don't know how many attempts. I don't know how many attempts he's taking. Yeah, but it just doesn't look good out there. I mean, the percentages are not showing just how bad.
And defensively, like he's ass.
Yeah. I mean,
like the worst defender in the NBA.
It's been the same with Evan Fournier too, to where if his shot isn't falling and when Kemba's shot isn't falling, they are useless as a backcourt.
Just running around out there.
Yeah, exactly. So the days of Kemba being an all-star have been done for a few years, like if him being an all-star and an all-NBA player.
The door has been slammed shut, locked.
Yeah, the days of him being a starting point guard are done now too.
Yeah, I mean, this was the risk that a lot of people saw. It was one of the biggest reasons that I said the Knicks are going to regress. I said they'd be, I think, the 8th seed, and this is one of the reasons. When you have when you're relying on Kemba Walker to get you buckets and regression all around from Julius Randle and some of the other Knicks, like they look that. I mean, they play like a team, but they don't play like a good one.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they're dysfunctional, but like they're bad.
Do we think he can have an all right next few years as a backup point guard?
No. I mean, not really. He's sort of at his point in his career where he's like Darren Williams on the Cavs or something, where he's just ass. Just straight up, flat out ass. Like Darren Williams on the the Cavs could get you a bucket here and there, but defensively he was like clueless. Offense without like the ball, he was horrible. Yeah, and that's basically what Kemba's going to be. He's just going to be ass. So he's going to be a minus player who can come in and give you some energy off the bench. Maybe like he can't even score consistently. So I don't even know what I'm talking about. Like I just don't think he's a good player. And the Kings know it. Or not the Kings. The Knicks know it. But Tibbs knows it. Everyone in New York knows it. I'm sure he's been booed plenty of times at the Garden this season.
I bet.
You know. It is what it is.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, maybe this just means that we're getting old. That the players we grew up on are just barely looking like NBA players. I mean, people have been making the Beijing, whatever the Beijing team is, jokes to
the
him.
Guangdong Tigers.
Guangdong Tigers, yeah. People have been making those jokes to Kemba, but like, shoot, I mean, he could very much have like a Stephon Marbury type.
Oh, he could. If he went to China right now, he would be the best Chinese player ever, and he would tear it up.
75 points a game. Like,
did China ban foreign talent or no? I thought they did that.
I don't know.
Or am I thinking of someone else? They might have done that where they banned foreign-born players.
Maybe. I have no idea.
Maybe I'm thinking.
Doesn't Jimmer Fredette play there, or is he at Panathinaikos?
I thought he retired.
Really? Because I know he was playing for Panathinaikos.
Oh, the Greek team.
Yeah, I'm
They're
pretty
like
sure.
A dominant team out in Greece.
Yeah, they had they had Jimmer, they had Sam Decker, they had Georgios Papagiannis.
Yeah, Georgios Papagiannis. What a guy. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he last played for the Shanghai Sharks, but I don't think he plays anymore. Let's look at his Twitter bio. What do you think Jimmer Fredette has in his Twitter bio?
Some like a Bible verse or something.
Oh, it's just a link to his Instagram.
Interesting.
Pretty boring, Jimmer. Fucking idiot.
Right. But Kemba has played himself out of the starting lineup, and I mean, I don't even see that big of a role of him off the bench because Derrick Rose is better than him at this point too.
Way better.
So I don't know what happens to the guy. Straight up, I don't know.
Just browsing through Jimmer Fredette Twitter, it's just like BYU athletics shit.
Yeah, I bet. But that was it for the 3-pointers. Now moving on, then, what do you got for me, John?
LeBron has COVID.
I think a lot of players have COVID right now.
But or he tested positive for COVID and then tweeted a couple hours ago. He said, like, in typical LeBron, just pretend I'm LeBron tweeting. Something's fishy with like 5 fish emojis.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
It was kind of bizarre. I don't know what he's alluding to. I think he's like a false test or someone wants him out of the league or something. But
right.
He tested positive for COVID once, tested negative, and then a tiebreaker test was administered, and he tested positive for that.
Interesting.
So
Hmm.
He's got COVID. Don't know how long that's going to be, but another wrench in the Lakers' shitty season.
What is it, a week or something? Because Kobe White has COVID too.
Yeah, I don't know what the NBA protocol is. It might be like a week. It's LeBron though, so he might be back next game.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Another one. We brought this up earlier, but I was talking about this a little bit. So Kemba Walker has the worst plus minus in the league because he's ass.
Yeah.
Do you know who has the second worst on-off splits in the league?
Who? I'm curious.
Give me one guess.
Worst plus minus.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of.
Fire.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Man, I'm trying to think of who sucks right now. I don't know. I really couldn't even give you a guess.
Luka Doncic
Interesting.
has the worst plus minus, not named Kemba Walker. The only player in the NBA in a winning team with plus minus.
And he's not
Kemba
even
Walker.
and Luka's not even like a notorious bad defender. So I mean, he's got like a big body, and he's not like especially. I mean, he's guarding guards as well too. So like, interesting.
Huh. He's been over the first 2 months of last season, Doncic was 80% from the free throw line. The first 2 months of this year, this season on 89 attempts, he's been shooting 65% from the free throw line. Shout out Tommy Beer for those tweets. He's a good NBA guy. But I mean, it's just been like it's been a kind of alarming, and the Mavericks supporting cast has picked up the slack a little bit. Porzingis has been better.
Porzingis has been playing great, yeah.
Luka's been slipping a little bit, especially on the defensive end, according to these stats.
Right.
But I mean, that's what that is.
Interesting.
And then my last piece of NBA news, miscellaneous topic, is Enes Kanter is actively trying to get kicked out of the league. Have you seen what he's been up to?
Change his name and all of that.
His last name legally is Freedom now. So we might see Freedom on the back of his jersey because he's now a U.S. citizen.
Did you see him on Fox News?
I did.
Interviewing with Tucker Carlson, and basically just told people to shut up and dribble. And I'm just
I think he literally said that.
He was like, players that criticize the U.S. they should shut their mouths. And I'm just like, dude, what are you talking about?
Stupid thing to say. I'm pretty sure even Tucker was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
If you're that's the whole point about being like an American is have the freedom to criticize the government. You can't have the last name Freedom and then being like, shut the fuck up. Stop talking bad about your country. It's not really what America's about. But I think someone brought up a point. It was either Twitter or Reddit or some NBA blog boy brought it up that Kanter is probably looking for a career in politics after he's running for office, or he's going to be a Fox News pundit or something. Right, solid strategy so far. He's stirring the pot, man. They love him over at Fox.
Right. Huh. Yeah.
But he's going to get kicked out of the league if he keeps talking crazy about – well, he's not going to get kicked out of the league, but he'll be – no one's going to want that headache on their team if he keeps doing that. It's not like he can play defense to make up for it either. So
no. And you heard LeBron say that, because I mean, he's been very critical of LeBron.
Oh yeah, he's been going at LeBron's neck.
And then LeBron was just like, he walked past me in the hallway and he didn't say anything. So he was like, you're just using my name to stir something up. But he was like, he had the opportunity to say something to me. I saw him in the hallway and he walked right past me. So
that's funny.
Not a big,
just avoiding contact.
Not a big Ennis guy right now, honestly. But
no,
that's neither here nor there, I suppose.
No.
But I mean that's I didn't really have any miscellaneous topics, so
okay. Let's get into college corner then.
Yeah, college corner. I really only have one thing to say. Well, I have two things to say. The first one being DePaul basketball is one of 20 undefeated teams still left in the country.
18, I believe now.
Yes, and I don't know if you look at Andy Katz's top 36 rankings.
36? No.
Yeah, Andy Katz. You should follow him on Twitter.
I know he's a big college guy.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. You should watch his show and check him out on Twitter. But so he does a top 36 ranking. And so he had the top 36, whatever, a couple Big East teams there, Marquette's in there, Seton Hall, UConn, Villanova, of course. And then right after that, he has other teams in consideration. DePaul is right in there.
How about that?
Yeah, and so I think if DePaul beats Loyola on Saturday, they're ranked. I think
Yeah, I
they,
don't
and
think they
then
will though.
really,
Sadly, yeah, I don't think they're going to beat Loyola.
I don't know.
And then they play Louisville after that, and I don't think they're going to beat Louisville.
Louisville's been good. Louisville's been really good. Yeah.
But again, they're 6-0, and they've got a new AD and new coach. But we'll see. That's
Yeah.
what they can't run.
I mean,
We'll see.
Javon Freeman Liberty is playing like the Big East Player of the Year right now,
That
and
that's important
yeah,
nationally, because right now DePaul 6-0 against cupcakes and Rutgers,
yeah,
who's looking like a cupcake. They've lost to some bad teams like Mass and Lafayette. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, Freeman Liberty's looking like he could be an NBA player.
yeah.
He's looking like he could be Big East Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking really, really solid, and it's kind of interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Um,
But yeah, I mean, we'll see how that game goes. But I think if they beat Loyola, that's a top 25 ranking right there. They'll probably be number 25, but
yeah,
that has to get them some votes.
yeah.
Yeah,
A couple things I want to talk about. Purdue is now the number one team in the country. If an AP poll comes out next, they will be,
yeah, they should be.
because Duke's got a loss to Ohio State, which is nuts, and Gonzaga lost to Duke, which was a phenomenal game
Mm-hmm.
in Vegas. Gonzaga kind of fell apart. I'm going to talk about Paulo next. But Purdue is the number one team, and they're fucking really scary.
Yeah,
They have
that's a really solid team.
Jaden Ivey as a guard is one of the best players in the country, but they have two absolute behemoth bigs in Zach Edey, who comes off the bench, and Travion Williams, who's a really good passing big, and they're both giant. Edey's like
Yeah.
7'4", 7'5".
Mm.
They beat the fuck out of Florida State by like 33. They
Yeah.
beat the fuck out of everyone, and it's Purdue, so I'm expecting a random loss outside of Mackey, but
Yeah.
they look ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. They're fun. They're fun to watch. I've only watched one game
Yeah,
of theirs, but no, that's a fun team to watch.
they should have played Duke in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. They
Yeah.
played,
but I don't know. I don't
Florida
know what
State
the
instead.
I don't know what the expectations for Purdue were going into this season.
High.
I don't know
They
if
were
really
like
okay.
fifth or sixth. Yeah, they were up there.
Okay.
That's why they're going to be number one. They've definitely deserved it. They beat Villanova.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if they have any other good wins this season. They're just solid. I mean,
Yeah.
they're just
100%.
a solid team. And that goes into my next thing. The former number one team, Duke, who was number one for a scant couple of days. Paulo Banchero is now the new number one draft pick in the NBA.
Is he really?
I think
he took officially he took Chet Holmgren.
I think if you look at a lot of mock drafts, consensus, I think he's going to go over Holmgren. I think that Duke game was telling. I think Holmgren can do a lot of stuff, but he struggled mightily against Mark Williams for Duke, who's a really, really bruising physical center.
Yeah.
And not only did he struggle against him, he struggled against him because of his weight. He was visibly getting bodied on rebounds, getting outworked on the boards. Defensively, he couldn't stop Mark Williams. Offensively, he was getting stymied a little bit. And Paulo just looks so goddamn fluid. Watching him play basketball, he's got some weird injury stuff going on with cramps and everything, but he looks like Kevin Durant.
That guy sweats, man.
Yeah.
He loses 7 pounds every game. Did you see that?
No, I
yes,
didn't.
He loses 7 pounds a game because he was having this struggle. What's up?
Is that like a genetic condition? That's insane.
It's got to be hyperhidrosis or something like that, because no, this guy, and like you saw mid game, he has to get his cramps rolled out, and like I don't know if he's just not staying hydrated, which I mean I don't know, but no, this is something has to be happening.
Weird,
because that's not normal.
Yeah, but I think Paulo Banchero's number one overall pick consensus ahead of Holmgren. I'd probably take him number one overall right now if I had to. He just looks so damn fluid.
Yeah.
And he looks like an instant 20-a-game scorer or something in the NBA. He looks like a Durant. Mm-hmm. He looks like a slam dunk right now. But long season, we'll see what happens. But he's incredible. And I don't know if he's the best player in college ball right now. It might still be Chet. It might still be EJ Liddell looked really damn good the other day for Ohio State. Might be Drew Timme maybe, but there's been no doubt that Paulo has been really good.
Oh, for sure.
Speaking of really good, Iowa State, currently 6-0, beat the absolute brakes off of Memphis. I think there was some stat. It was the largest margin of victory on a top 10 ranked AP team ever.
Yeah.
With
No, yeah,
36 or something.
And they've beaten
points.
other good teams too.
I got that's a look. It's really interesting though because so Iowa State over the course of the past decade, they had Fred Hoiberg, who was a pretty damn good college coach. They called him mayor and all that crap. He was known for those sort of run and gun team, getting rid of leads, stuff like that. He was really good. And then he went to the NBA, and they hired Steve Prohm, who was horrible. He actively tanked the program for 3 or 4 years, I think. He was one of the worst coaches I've ever seen, with talent like Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
And I think Talon
Horton Tucker.
Like, he did nothing with any of those guys. And then
Monte Morris.
Like, they had talent, NBA talent, and they fired him this past season. And immediately, I don't even know who the fuck coaches Iowa State, but immediately he's taken over the team, and they're 6-0, and they look like they're right back on track.
Yeah.
The other good team they beat before they beat Memphis by a margin of 78-59, they beat Xavier by 12. Who was
that was part
Xavier.
of the. Was that part of? Did the Big East and the Big 12 already have their? Did they already have their games? No, I don't think so. Okay.
No.
Oh, I think they played them in like a tournament or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they beat Xavier. Xavier's a damn good team. I love Xavier just because of Paul Scruggs coming back. But I don't know, man. Iowa State plays Chicago State in a few weeks. Looking like it might be.
It's gonna be ugly.
Oh yeah, might be.
Chicago State is the third to last ranked college team in the country.
Who the fuck is worse than them?
I don't remember. I saw a list.
I know Chicago State beat SIU Edwardsville twice, which the fact that they beat anyone D1 surprises the hell out of me since they're on the verge of not even being a real school anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And they lose. I think I remember last year they played Florida State when Florida State was good, and they lost by, I'm not even joking, 56. I think the score was 117 to 60 or something.
God, that's bad.
It was insane. I don't know how they function. I don't know. They're the ultimate buy game. They are
100%.
Not buy as in BUY as in you pay for the game, as in it's a bye week. It's BYE. You will not lose to this team.
Because DePaul and Loyola have been beating them down for years now. Legit, 20,
and
30
DePaul has been beating
margins.
them down, and they're ass.
Yeah.
So,
and they're good this year, man. I'm not gonna hear that.
Yeah, but they've been ass.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The worst power conference team probably. Yeah, in the past couple of years, DePaul has been.
Probably. Yeah.
Penn
definitely.
State is up there, but they had that tournament year that didn't happen with Lamar Stevens.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I want to talk about was big draft riser Jabari Smith, plays for Auburn.
Yeah. I was just about to say that.
Best risers in this draft. He looks like a fucking monster.
And we always have one of those guys every year. That they're stock. They're not really that heard of going into the season, and then they're stock. I mean, that was Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, he wasn't really on anybody's radar, and he turned into a lottery pick.
Yeah. Jabari Smith looks nuts. In that double OT game against UConn that Auburn won, he looked like Dwight Howard or something. He was insane.
I watched him when they played Loyola, when they beat Loyola over the weekend too.
And they beat Loyola, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're nuts, and Jabari Smith is definitely on the radar for a top 5 NBA selection because he's definitely going to the league.
Yeah.
And Auburn with Bruce Pearl at the helm, and no regard for any NCAA guidelines or ethics or morals on who they bring aboard.
Right.
Auburn's going to look to continue their pretty solid start that they're off.
Yeah, for sure.
SEC basketball, baby.
Yeah. But I have nothing to say on the college. So yeah, that was College Corner. And now moving into the main topic of the episode, Suns and Warriors, as the kids would say, was a movie. We were both watching that last night, and it was a great game. These two teams, I mean, they have the same record now. They're both 18-3. The Warriors were a game ahead of the Suns now, but the Suns have jumped them and now are the 1 seed. I need 7 games of this.
Yeah, and you're going to get one more on Friday, which is nice.
Oh, they're playing in – are they playing in
they play in San Francisco.
Okay.
In Friday. And I don't know if Booker will be back for that game. I think he will be. That's the presumption.
Yeah.
But they played pretty damn well without him. And biggest reason is how good is Chris Paul? He was doing shit on the court that was like, not even Steph Curry could do, where he did drew the pick and roll, went inside, did a little spin jumper mid-range thing. Like, he's insane.
I have a different reason for why they won that game.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
How good is Mikal Bridges, man?
McAlcatraz.
Mikal Bridges. Right now, if season ended today, he is first team all defense.
Yeah,
Mikal Bridges is looking like the best wing defender in the NBA right now.
Well, I don't think he was the best defender for the Suns that game though.
DeAndre
I think
Ayton?
he was Steph Curry. He was.
Yeah.
Did you see the defense Steph Curry was playing on the Warriors, taking like 40-foot air balls?
Yeah,
he was off, man. He locked up Curry.
100%. And he had the assignment from like the beginning. He was guarding Steph as soon as the game started. And then another big part too, DeAndre Ayton was fantastic as well too.
The first quarter started and they would feed him the post and he would just do like a baby hook and it went in the exact same way every single time.
Yeah, exactly. And then
made me think of how much they're going to need to pay him to keep him on the because they're probably going to want to.
Yeah, and then he had to step up. I'm thinking more defensively too. He stepped up on Steph a few times on some ball screens, and I mean he held his own. I mean Mikal was the primary defender on Steph, but DeAndre Ayton just did a fantastic job out there too. I need 7 games of that. I mean that was Steph's first, I would say, like real, like not bad game. Like I mean it's bad to Steph Curry standard, but he had an off night finally.
Yeah. Some other Warriors stepped up. Jordan Poole was really damn good. He looked like Steph Curry. He looked more like Curry than Curry did. Doing big jumpers. He had a couple bad misses too, but that's just that comes with the territory with the Warriors.
Right.
Draymond looked good until the last minute of the game where he threw up like the worst layups I've ever seen, and that's what Draymond does all the time. Like even in the playoffs, like it's like Draymond Green's got the ball and he's trying to like score. He should just stop, and like there's no reason Draymond should be shooting pretty much ever, but like there's some moments where he drove the lane and did some good stuff. He had a couple lobs where he was throwing lobs that were really good. He looked like the Warriors' second best player behind Jordan Poole last night.
Right.
And then they also got some contributions from Wiggins, Otto Porter.
Otto Porter was making some big shots at the end of the game as well too. And then the Suns, even a lot of their guys had solid games too. I believe Cam Johnson had 10 points. Crowder had a big, I believe he dunked on. I think he dunked on Bielitsa or something.
He had a good defensive night too.
Yeah, 100%. So all of their bench guys were all doing their role. I mean, they have one of the better benches in the NBA. And that was really what it came down to. I need 7 games of that.
It made me think when we did our top 15 or top 10 players in the beginning of the year and we went to 15, it kind of pisses me off that neither one of us, I think, mentioned Chris Paul.
No.
I don't think we even mentioned him, and he looked like a top 15 player last night.
I think we had a brief discussion about maybe this being finally the Chris Paul regression year.
Okay.
I think maybe we both believe that it's finally going to happen. I mean, especially because a lot of people talked about the contract that he got this summer, and I don't think it was a positive mindset on Chris Paul this summer. Just with them losing in the finals and with him getting paid a long-term deal on that. So I think that's part of why we didn't mention it, but he looks like a top 15 player right now.
Yeah, and just all the little things that he does, he's so damn smart. His vision is unparalleled. He's probably the smartest player in the NBA.
And they did this all without Devin Booker too. I mean, Devin Booker went down. Yeah,
they didn't miss a beat. They played.
What was it? The second quarter?
Yeah,
probably. Yeah. Booker went down in the second quarter, and they looked
they
fantastic.
didn't miss a beat. Like they played the exact same.
And that's just how, like,
Shamit stepped up.
I mean, it's just to break it down very simply, the Phoenix Suns are a very good team.
Yeah.
They are deep. They're a healthy team for the most part.
Who do you got in a 7-game series?
I was just about to ask you. In a 7-game series
Damn it.
with probably
Just go.
7-game series with Phoenix being the home
One
team. If Phoenix is the home team, I think Phoenix wins in 7 games.
I'm gonna say 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I was hearing people say that they think the Warriors would still win. And I mean, I'm not mad at that. I mean, it's a possibility because, I mean, there's still
Close game. Curry had an off night last night. The Warriors might come and beat them by like 10 or 15 or something on Friday. You never know.
Right.
Like in their home building, Curry having an on night instead of an off night. Yeah.
Because Curry's not going to have 7 off games, if they play the Phoenix Suns.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, Mikal Bridges is going to play as good of defense as he always does on him. But I mean, Steph Curry's not going to play like that every night because he's Steph Curry. And I think there's still too many question marks about Klay Thompson and what he's going to be when he comes back as well too. So I don't know. I think I like Phoenix in a 7-game series. It's probably the first time or one of the first times since I don't know. You don't remember in like 2018 when the 2 best teams were the Rockets and the Warriors, and it was very clear, and everyone was like, "I am ready to see the Rockets and the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals." I'm feeling like that right now too, and it kind of happened with the Lakers and the Clippers, but we never got that matchup.
That I'm excited about.
No,
I mean,
so
17 games in a row, man. Like they started out 1-3,
1-3,
and they've now won 17 in a row.
Yeah, to be able to turn that around, like I don't know who's beating the Phoenix Suns.
I wonder if we went. I think we might have talked about that. We briefly in an episode early in the season. We're like, oh, the Suns are 1-3, and like sort of like brush them off, and now they've won
17.
I wonder if there's a sound clip of us writing them off or something, and then they won 17 in a row.
There has to be, because I think we were talking about teams that wereren't doing great to start off the season, like the Suns and the Lakers and the Trailblazers and all of that.
Yeah.
And like, it probably exists, but no, I need 7 games of that because that was a really, really good game. And I think both teams at full strength. Like I said, there's still question marks about Klay Thompson and is James Wiseman coming back anytime soon?
I don't know what the hell. Did they want
just
him to come back?
They just assigned They just assigned him to the G League team.
Santa Cruz, baby.
Him and Klay got assigned to the G League team. So, I mean, it's sounding like he's probably coming back sometime soon. But like you said, do you even want him back?
You know who I didn't see a lot of last night? It might just be that I missed him. Did Kuminga play last night or no? Is he in the G League? I don't remember either. I'm going to say
one of them got sent. One of them got sent to the G League. Kuminga and what's his name? The other
Moody Mosley.
Yeah, Moody Mosley. Yeah. But like I don't know if you want James Wiseman to even play at this point. I think they should just trade him at the deadline. Like,
oh really?
Yeah. Oh, Wiggins had a bad game last night too, but
trade his ass too.
Really matter.
Yeah. No, I mean, he wasn't crazy. I saw him make a couple buckets. Just same thing with Otto. So Otto make a couple buckets, but if Curry's off, then like the whole team's gonna be off.
Exactly.
So, crazy. I don't think. I mean, they're on pace. Both teams are 18-3. They're on pace to win like a crazy amount of games. Mm-hmm. I think both of them will sort of cool off a little bit, but
let us know in the comments what you guys think, like who you think would win in a 7-game series and why. We'll probably run a poll on Twitter as well too on Friday before the other game, and we'll see what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's my most anticipated conference finals game since the Rockets and the Warriors, and because I mean it's very clear these are the 2 best teams, and unless they have like a Clippers level choke job to where everybody was expecting the Lakers and the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals, and then the Clippers just shit the bed against the Nuggets.
How fucking bad was that? I almost forgot about that.
That was a top 5 night on NBA Twitter, man.
George hitting the backboard on a
Mm-hmm.
corner three
Yeah, that was
was just so. And the funniest thing, like Paul George, I think said like we're in the driver's seat when they were up 3-1, and then people posting pictures of like car crashes
yeah,
after
yeah.
after that said
No,
that they
yeah,
lost in
like I
7
said,
games.
top five night on NBA Twitter, like for sure.
Yeah.
Because that was like some of the first real slander Kawhi Leonard ever really got. I mean, up until then, I mean, he had
Well, Spurs fans slandered him
it.
for the.
It's that's different, but like, I mean, the times that the Spurs didn't make it through the playoffs wasn't Kawhi's fault.
Yeah, but him leaving.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying as a player, like on the court, like anything like
Oh
that. He
well, I
had what?
mean, when he requested a trade and like pissed off Pop and pissed off R.C. Buford and the whole Uncle Dennis saga was going on, he was getting
But I'm
slandered.
talking slander because of his performance on the court.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I mean, he had like what, like 10 points in an elimination game.
and in the fourth quarter, he had 0, I believe.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
no,
think he
yeah,
had a
yeah.
single bucket
I
in the
don't think
fourth
Paul
quarter.
George had one either.
No,
Yeah,
historically bad choke job. I hope that doesn't happen to either the Suns or the Warriors. I would like to see them in the conference finals because that's just, I mean,
right.
I
Because
love the
I
game.
know.
That game
Yeah,
last night was incredible.
yeah. I hope we don't get
Um,
robbed of that conference finals like we did of the Lakers and Clippers, which I don't think is ever going to happen at this point. I
Lakers
think,
Clippers. I'm
and I don't
waiting.
think anyone even really wants to see it anymore.
I'm waiting for Lakers Clippers in the West and Brooklyn New York in the East, so that
Yeah,
it's just the two. It's just two cities and just
right.
the cities that hate each other.
Yeah. No,
That would be pretty
that'd
funny.
be something. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, that is all that we have then today for the episode. It's good to be back. You know, we took the week break with the holidays, but we will be back and uploading regularly as well too.
back
But
on Sunday.
exactly, we'll be back again on Sunday, so we'll be able to talk about the Suns and the Warriors, that game that happens on Friday. Tons of big games happening for college this weekend as well too. So make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications so you do not miss anything. And comment down below, let us know who you think would win in a 7-game series between the Suns and the Warriors. And like and do all of those YouTube things. We'll be back again soon on Sunday. Thank you all for watching. Signing out.